We should get out of the way.
Yay!
Get out of here,
Can I go?
He's like, look.
Do you have everything you need?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get
I'll let
everything.
you handle it,
Yeah, it's all set. It's live.
Is there no seats? Yes. I'm so sorry. I think it's almost on this phone. Yeah. Perfect.
I'm so sorry.
All right. No, you're over here next to Chelsea. You be up there. There's also 2 more chairs over here. You guys want to sit over there?
Good. We've been over here.
Oh, wow.
Chelsea, is this over? You saw that I'll keep giving up your chair.
Please turn all cell phones to the library or silent mode. Please no
Let's agree on.
They can't all hear that. Well, once again, good afternoon, everyone. What a gift it is to step into this moment with joy, with laughter. Because that is the gift that we have inside that, where we witness that great gift of love. So Dennis and Christopher have invited us here to share in a most wonderful celebration. It's a celebration of commitment, of opening oneself to another person in promise and in understanding. We gather around them now to affirm them in their intentions and to bear witness of their making of a covenant. They will create before us a binding agreement as well as their personal sacred space in which they'll now live. So we gather together to celebrate the love that Christopher and Dennis have found to give them happiness and support. Nothing could stop this day. We may be limited in some senses, not exactly where we might want to be, but the love we witness will never be restricted or bound. For it comes from their hearts and helps them to be their most beautiful and wonderful selves. Dennis and Christopher, we come here to celebrate with you as you enter this unique and wonderful relationship called marriage, a right that is extended to all and not reserved for some. Today we join in your joy, and we share our love with you. Being in the presence of these family members and friends that you've called to be witnesses, I ask you to affirm your willingness to enter this covenant of marriage and to share all the joys and sorrows of this new relationship, whatever the future may hold. So, Christopher Salvatore DeSanto Jr., will you have this man, Dennis James Peterson Jr., to be your wedded husband, to live together in the estate of matrimony? Will you love him, comfort him, honor and keep him, in joy and in sorrow, in sickness and in health, and forsaking all others, keep yourself only unto him, so long as you both shall live? If so, please respond, I will. I will. Dennis James Peterson Jr., will you have this man, Christopher Salvatore DeSanto Jr., to be your wedded husband, to live together in the estate of matrimony? Will you love him, comfort him, honor and keep him, in joy and in sorrow, in sickness and in health, and forsaking all others, keep yourself only unto him, so long as you both shall live? If so, please respond, I will. I will. So we have the gift of readings, some wisdom that will be shared, and the first person that I'd like to call forward to share a reading is Kate.
Hi, everyone. In 2015, the United States Supreme Court ruled on the landmark case Obergefell v. Hodges, which affirmed that the fundamental right to marry is guaranteed to same-sex couples across this country. Justice Anthony Kennedy penned the decision. In it, he wrote, "No union is more profound than marriage, for it embodies the highest ideals of love, fidelity, devotion, sacrifice, and family. In forming a marital union, two people become something greater than they once were. As some of the petitioners in this case demonstrate, marriage embodies a love that may endure even past death. It would misunderstand these men and women to say that they disrespect the idea of marriage. Their plea is that they do respect it so deeply that they seek to find its fulfillment for themselves. Their hope is not to be condemned to live in loneliness, excluded from one of civilization's oldest institutions. They ask for equal dignity in the eyes of the law. The Constitution grants them that right."
And Ashley, if you come forward to share a reading as well.
So this is a quote from Les Mis by Victor Hugo. "You can give without loving, but you can never love without giving. The great acts of love are done by those who are habitually performing small acts of kindness. We pardon to the extent that we love. Love is knowing that even when you are alone, you will never be lonely again. And great happiness of life is the conviction that we are loved. Loved for ourselves, and even loved in spite of ourselves."
Share one final thought with you. It says this: two are better than one because they have good return for their work. If one falls down, the other can assist in helping them up. But pity the one who falls and has no one to help them. Also, if two lie down together, they will keep warm, but how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. The cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. I share with you, Christopher and Dennis, you just take a deep breath right now, because probably a few more people who had a lot to do to put this all together, take a deep breath. Because this is your day, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. It's perfect, as it is. We're joined by people electronically, and yes, it is not exactly what we had hoped for. But it is still perfection, because it's about love. It's about the gift that the two of you share. As I listened to Kate and then Ashley, and then I listened to the words that I spoke, I heard 3 things. First, about marriage, how 2 people become something greater than they once were, is what Justice Kennedy said. And from Les Miserables, we hear from Victor Hugo that you can never love without giving. It's amazing to me that we realize how powerful it is when you love, that you discover that you become so much more. You become greater than you could ever imagine that you could be. In math terms, as a friend of mine would say, the sum is greater than its parts, right? So each of you together brings so much more. As you discover love, you begin sharing, you begin giving, and you reach out to share in a very powerful way that extends to all of us. You are different people than you were the day you met or started dating 5 years ago today. Isn't that amazing? That you could never have imagined what you could be and what you are today. And it's great that you can't even begin to totally imagine all that you will be together tomorrow. Remember the words from Ecclesiastes about this unique relationship of being 2, being together. But it ends with something about 3. 3 strands are not quickly broken. This relationship is Dennis and it's Christopher. That 3rd strand is the love, which is unique, that you share. As a cord, this cord is braided together with 3 strands. You will be a little bit apart from time to time with love in the middle, and sometimes you're going to be right next to one another. That cord goes stronger and stronger the more it's braided. So keep working at your relationship to be more than you once were, greater than you once were. Keep reaching out in love to give, and make your cord of love that which binds you closer and closer together. I share with you a little quote that says this: the greatest gift one can give to another person is a deeper understanding of life and the ability to love and believe in the self. You've each discovered much more about yourselves, and you've become most amazing and wonderful people as you believe more deeply in who you are, and as you reach out to share in this great gift in supporting and caring for another, and that overflows to all of us. Truly, may you enjoy this most wonderful relationship, and may you love one another more in every tomorrow than you do this very day. Christopher and Dennis, if you just kind of move together here a little bit closer and hold hands. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot. Speaking of these words, you will join yourselves in the covenant of marriage, but you have to roll for initiative, so let's go.
How are you?
You're first. This is how we do things. Okay, so you can do that, and then what I will do is I will hold this for you. Just as long as you're ready.
When I first met you, you couldn't have talked me into believing in love, but just like that, it felt fast. I believed that I felt better. Even through everything we've been through, you've always been there to catch me, and as always, I'm with you. If there's any such truth in fairy tales, I know that I've met my prince. Bearing that in mind, I've never really been one for sentence. Words cannot express how happy I am with you, but even yet, they've vowed to always love, respect, challenge you, as both my husband and my best friend. You're the excitement that I've always found myself chasing each and every day. I remember the first time we went to Montreal. The energy that I felt just coming from you, something out of this world. I've always felt this place was going to be special, and then a year later, we proposed. You never made me happier. I didn't even see that coming. I was speechless, as you remember. It was as if everything I felt about you was a reality. I'll never forget how happy you made me. And no, that wasn't the first or the last time I felt so happy with you. There's no more joy I feel each and every day that I'm with you. I vow to bend, be flexible, and know when to compete, when to fall, and when to lose. All to make you happy, even if my ego has to take a hit. I love to always challenge you so that we can both grow and learn together. We'll never stop growing, we'll never stop loving. But most of all, I love to make you happy each and every day. Same happiness that you always bring me. Even in our worst days, you're the highlight of my dreams. And on the worst days, you're still the highlight of my nightmares. I love you forever and always. And know that I will always choose you.
Love is not always an overflowing waterfall of emotion, as many people who know me, that's generally not my style. But sometimes it's best represented by the often overshadowed boulder sitting at the waterfall's base. It's steady and reliable in the face of an unending torrent of craziness crashing down upon it. It remains such even when no one else may notice or appreciate it. It shines brightest not in the most outwardly exuberant displays of affection, which is why the wedding is for me, but instead in some of the most mundane of situations. It's the small sacrifice for my sake to do something that you know I may like more. It's the unquestioning reassurance about a new endeavor. It's being just as excited for me for a new show or a game that came up that we'll both enjoy. Dennis, you are my boulder. You struck me through the best, you have stuck behind me through the best and the worst of situations, and the best and worst of me, and have loved me and continue to love me unconditionally throughout. Today we're not only recognizing our 5-year anniversary, since you became an important part of my life, but also memorializing our new beginning. So in this ceremony, I want everyone to know how much you mean to me. And to you, I make the following vows. I vow to always love and support you. I vow to always take your needs and wants into consideration, even if we both know how tunnel vision that can be at times. I vow to surprise you with little gifts now and then, to remind you of my love, even if it's the result of an impulse buy. I vow to keep being the sole driver because you don't like driving places. I vow to take care of you when you've had too much to drink and start posting TikToks. Even if you make me stay up with you when I desperately want to go to sleep. I vow that when you feel anxious or afraid, I'll lay down next to you and bring you tea and comfort you. And I vow to be the most dependable person in your life. And finally, more than anything else, I vow to love you with all of my heart. Period. There is no for long as we both shall live. Because, there's no for long as we both shall live after that sentence, because it will not end there. You're permanently a part of my heart and I yours. Your love will always be with me. And with this, I'd like to end with a quote. No. Excuse me. Though our individual hearts may seem weak, they're no longer alone. They will grow with each new experience we share. Our hearts have found a home within each other and within the friends and family we now share. And theirs have become a part of ours. I will remember to take time every day to think of you and how much I love you. And through that, our hearts will remain as one. When two people become one, their destinies become intertwined. They'll remain a part of each other's lives no matter what. I love you always.
Beautifully said. Maybe I'm glad that I don't have a TikTok account. And if I recall correctly, I think we all knew that the question was going to be popped. But it's a testament to your love. The words you share come from your hearts, and they bind you together. It is your love that will forever draw you closer and closer and continue to feed you in the days to come. So before us now, if you guys want to just turn to this, before us we have containers, 2 separate containers of sand and one in the center that will contain both of the separate sands, both blue and gray or silver. And the containers, one symbolizes Christopher, the other symbolizes Dennis. They symbolize the fullness and the beauty of each of their lives as individuals. And they symbolize their experiences they've had. Yet, the third container symbolizes how their life becomes one. How all of these experiences they bring to this relationship and they begin to create new ones. It's symbolic of their families, of friends, of their lives, and how it will continue to be filled with this greatest gift of love. So as they join together in love, as they join together in marriage, their love unites them, binding them together, binding their lives and creating something beautiful and something greater, again, than the sum of their parts. As they pour, may it be that we see the beginning of a new life that will always feed them and help them to become all that they have been created to be and so much more. And so I invite you to mix the sands.
Go that way.
You do more, just do it more. Just you should fill it all the way up because it didn't reach. Good. Took you 5 years to get here. It should take you a little while to pour this all the way. Oh, we'll fix that later. Brittany and Chelsea, if you come forward, please, because you have gifts that you need to share with them, that they can share with one another. So you hold on to that. You hold on to that. So you went first with your so you get to go first with rings. So what I'd invite you to do is actually step this way so you're closer. Extend your left hand, ring finger, turn to his knuckle, looking Dennis in the eye, repeating after me. So these rings are, as they're giving this gift, it's an outward and a visible sign of an inward and most personal experience. And saying to Dennis, looking in the eye, repeating after me. I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a symbol of the vows we have made here today.
as a symbol of the vows we have made here today.
My heart is in this ring.
My heart is in this ring.
My love is in this ring.
My love is in this ring.
And when you look at this ring,
When you look at this ring,
remember that I love you
remember that I love you
and will be with you always.
and will be with you always.
Just put it to his knuckle and he can put it on the rest of the way. Repeating after me, looking at Chris. I receive this ring.
I receive this ring.
No, he is to stand. He is to stand. You can put it on the rest of the way. I receive this
I
ring
receive this ring
as a sign of
as a sign of
our love and promise.
our love and promise.
So now you'll repeat after me, saying to Chris, I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a symbol of
as a symbol of
the vows we have made here today.
the vows we've made here today.
My heart is in this ring.
My heart is in this ring.
My love is in this ring.
My love is in this ring.
And when you look at this ring,
And when you look at this ring,
remember that I love you
remember that I love
and you will be with you always.
you and will be with you always.
Just knuckle, just Peter Cedar the rest of the way. I receive this ring
I receive this ring
as a sign of
as a sign of
our love and promise.
our love and promise.
Christopher and Dennis, you have committed yourself to one another in this joyous and most personal covenant. We have gathered as witnesses to this moment of celebration and joy. Being in the presence of your closest family and friends, you have entered the covenant of marriage. You have offered vows to pledge your love and commitment to each other. You shared a symbol of your love, and so now, in the gift of your rings, and so now I invite you to seal your covenant with the most personal gift, a kiss. So if you turn and face everyone, and you could hold hands. So as we leave this moment, it does not end. Love goes on, and the love that Dennis and Chris share is a love that draws us all together in this great circle of family, of friends that have become family, of two families that unite. And so it is that we go from this place strengthened, encouraged, always filled with hope, and truly bearing the great gift of love that we can share far and wide. And so it is my honor and a great privilege to introduce to you for the very first time, Mr. and Mr. Christopher DeSanto Jr. We will step to get something to drink, get some pictures and things, so I'm sure families are going to be right here and yell
Mr. Christopher DeSanto to you.
So please do take the time to enjoy, we'll be able to greet one another and as well. So we'll be waiting to greet us, I'm not sure. So parents and grandma would like to go first.
Thank you. Thank you.
Say hi. Bye. Thank you all for watching.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for the love. Okay.